I know he got some hoe in him. Pull on him, extort shit, really the flow on him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. Damn. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a weird case, why is he around? Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles.
That's crazy.
That fuck him up. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
Hey yo, aside from the verbal slaughter that Kendrick just put on Drake in front of the whole world, man, I think a lot of people, including myself, who I've never been a big fan of Drake, I always thought he was inauthentic with who he was. All you gotta do is do a background check on this guy and see how he came up. A lot of people in the industry been knowing this for a while, man, and Kendrick just speaking for everybody in the industry who, now don't get me wrong, if you do business with Drake, if you make songs with Drake, you probably gonna make a lot of money. You probably gonna be commercially very successful. Look at 21 Savage. Look at Metro Boomin. Look at Future. Honestly, blew up like that once he did that mixtape with Drake. What was it? What a Time to Be Alive, I think. It's really when Future's, mainstream commercial career took off. So I think somebody like Kendrick, honestly, who aside from calling him literally a pedo, he literally calling him that word in 3 different ways. He said, keep your little sister from him. Certified pedophile. You're going to strike a chord and it's probably A minor. I don't know how you come back from that, honestly, man. In the grand scheme of things, man, I think there's some other things we could really try to take away and to try to grab from this beef, aside from just enjoying the music that they put out. To be honest, I didn't even listen to Drake's diss to Kendrick. I didn't even really turn that shit on. I'm not a fan of Drake. He almost sounds like fake to me when he be rapping. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on some Milli Vanilli shit, recording his shit, faking his shit. I don't even, his shit just don't sound authentic to me. His music is not authentic, man, and, the way somebody presents himself, all that has to do with it. So I just don't like, Drake in general. It's kind of personal, to be honest, but I don't like that fake shit, man. But a lot of artists in the industry have reached a point to where they probably glad that Kendrick did this. The way Drake be moving has me thinking about the industry, the music industry as a whole. I be feeling like all these artists, all these entertainers, this goes beyond just rap music and beyond the rap genre, by the way. I feel like all these entertainers, all these people in Hollywood going to these parties, they all got dirt on each other. They all be knowing their darkest secrets about what they've done behind closed doors. They know how to get information. They know the same people. Name of the game is blackmail, bro. That's really the name of the game. And that's really something that people don't want to talk about, and something that, goes on every day. It's how people are able to push certain agendas and push certain narratives. And we wonder, why are they pushing, Sexy Red? Why are they pushing Drake? Why are they pushing this to the mainstream, man? Why are they rapping about the same shit? Almost seems like there's a string, and it's they being pulled and they being, coerced to act a certain way. And, I surmise, just from my research, and I believe that a lot of these artists, including Drake, could be Kendrick too, could be Future, could be a lot of these mainstream artists that we know, we listen to every day, man. They all got dark secrets, man. I really believe that shit. I believe they all, as soon as they step out of line, as soon as something happen, something's gonna come out and we all gonna be shocked. This whole Diddy thing, with Diddy getting caught with the child, with the sex trafficking and all that weird shit with Justin Bieber and Meek Mill. Then you got R. Kelly was getting away with this shit for 20, 25 years, bro, and everybody knew about it. It really just makes me, when I see stuff like this, and I see Kendrick literally calling him a pedophile, 10 whatever sex offender pins on his crib, literally calling him. So that's 4 different ways. He said, you better keep your little sister from him. Certified pedophile. She probably a minor. And then on top of that, he put the cherry on top with the pin on his crib. I don't know, man. I feel like Drake is one of those ones. Look at his history. It's you look at where he came from an acting career. Came from a very wealthy, affluent family from Canada. And, he's a part of a particular group and sect, that does have a lot of pull and tug in Hollywood, in the rap industry specifically, but in Hollywood in general.
First of all, I live in an all-Jewish area. I went to a predominantly Jewish school. I definitely had a bar mitzvah in an Italian restaurant, mind you. The song of the night was Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way. And yeah, man, I was in there. I was in synagogue. I had my yarmulke on.
He was raised that way, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all of a sudden he becomes, he's an actor. All of a sudden he joins Young Money. Don't even look like he fit in.
Who has been your favorite artist to work with and why?
Oh, I have to say, I can't say one person. I gotta say there's three people that I have to say. And Wayne is my favorite person to work with though, because it's just, ooh, Lil Wayne, he's just too good. Ooh, Lil Wayne, he's just too good.
Embarrassing.
Oh, nigga, you gay.
He looked like a square. Sure, maybe he put together a few lines, even though he don't even write his own shit, and that came out. But, it just seems like to me, and I don't like to use the word plant. I don't just like to throw that word out there, but if there were to be a plant in the hip-hop industry, it would be somebody like Drake. Somebody who comes from nowhere near hip-hop culture. This guy's from Canada. This guy really has no idea about hip-hop culture. He just surrounds himself with the people he needs to, portray that image and to be able to convince people this is who he really is, when that's really who he's not. All you gotta do is look at his old pictures, man. I don't know how you become the guy that you are when you're in your mid-30s. Nigga almost 40 years old. It's me, man. So it begs a question for me, like, how many people in the industry really got dirt on them like this? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. Kendrick calling him out and we ain't heard shit from Drake since, and everybody just gonna forget about it. But I think that shit crazy to me. So I think the biggest thing for me and my disdain for Drake, and I know this is gonna sound like I'm just raining down on Drake, I ain't that big of a Kendrick Lamar fan, but you gotta give props to his craft. And he actually comes from the culture, born and raised in Compton, legit rapper in the hip hop culture. Got somebody like Kendrick and putting him on the same level as somebody like Drake. I'm gonna talk about Drake and sing. He ain't a rapper. He be singing. He be doing this. Nigga can't dance. Nigga can't hoop. He connected to a whole bunch of athletes, and he like the biggest rapper in the world. And I feel like mostly females listen to him. I don't know a lot of dudes who really listen to Drake like that, to be honest. So I don't really fuck with Drake music, and none of this shit really surprised me, man. The way they be moving, and coming from where he comes from, this does not surprise me at all. So biggest problem is that, he's inauthentic and he doesn't even care. And people don't care. It's like, how can you not care? Like, what I'm saying, if somebody's not really being who they are, they putting on a front like they really hood, they really be hanging out with rappers from Atlanta, 21 Savage, Young Thug, Lil Baby, Gunna. He even talked about it in the song. I ain't gonna play the whole song, but called him a pedophile, and that's crazy, man, because I do not think somebody like Drake is the only one in hip-hop who got dirt on him like this. And, Kendrick probably found that information, he released it, and, I'm interested to see what happens next, honestly. Another kind of point I want to hit on, and this is my last point, is just like, with this whole beef coming out, is like, is authenticity in hip-hop, is authenticity in, the entertainment world in general, like, is it dead? Like, do we have authenticity anymore? Would it surprise any of y'all if this beef was manufactured? And that this wasn't even a legit beef that they had? And the fact that they both probably making millions of dollars off this beef. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he really does, I mean, it's pretty serious if you're going to accuse somebody of being a pedophile. But it's like, somebody like Drake, for these money-hungry industry-ass niggas, bruh, does it really surprise you that somebody would go this far just to make some more money, just to drive more traffic to their songs and sell more concert tickets and to sell more merch? Honestly, the way people is and social media is in 2024, I wouldn't even be surprised, bro. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think anything's gonna happen to Drake after these accusations. Like, I don't think nobody's gonna come out and say he did this to me 10 years ago, whatever. I think somebody like Drake got too much pull in the industry, but it's like, it begs the question of how and who granted him this sort of like hip-hop pass, I guess, because it doesn't make any sense coming where he comes from at all. Like, Kendrick is holding the torch. I don't really see any other like standard being held up as far as like field rapping, as far as like authenticity in raps. And I know what y'all gonna say. Y'all gonna say they got plenty of underground rappers who gonna get recognition who are authentic, whoop-de-whoop. But that goes back to my previous point, because why are they pushing artists who are rapping about the same thing, who are making songs with each other, i.e. a few examples, Drake, Young Thug, Future, Lil Baby. Majority of those artists are from Atlanta, the West Coast. I mean, guys like YG, You know, guys like, you know, you even just had the beef with Quavo and Chris Brown that just kind of came and went, you know what I'm saying? Drove a lot of traffic to their platforms, to their channels, and then you just don't hear about this shit anymore. So, like, is this even like a real beef? Like, can we really know for a fact that this is a real beef? Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure they used to make songs with each other, Drake and Kendrick Lamar on Kendrick's first album. Would not surprise me in the least bit. And you know, this type of thing, I really believe that reality is stranger than fiction, man. Like, I don't think the shit that they tell us on the news, the shit that they report on these blogs, on social media, you know, they want us to think everything's happening in an organic, natural way, but it's like we living in a play, we living in a theater, man, and they just playing with us. They just doing things to make more money. And they doing things, you know, every day to really fool the masses into thinking like this is a real beef. You know, that's gonna have people more into what's going on. You know, listening to the songs, and you know, people gonna pick sides, etc., etc. Really, just out of nowhere. This beef really just came out of nowhere. Kendrick and Drake. I wouldn't put it behind me. Like, if any of this if all this beef just boils over, we just don't hear anything from Drake or Kendrick Lamar for a month, 2 months. Everybody forgets about it, and at the end of the day, they the ones that made money off it. We got one good song out of it, you know, that you can dance to in the club, I guess. I'm not even really like a big fan of like modern hip hop, so I mean, it's hard to really get me jamming to something. I ain't even really like a dancer either. That's another thing, but like, this song made me want to move, man. Like, it really do make me want to move. So, am I the only one that's crazy? Like, I ain't trying to rain on nobody parade. Like, let's enjoy the beef. Let's enjoy the moment. But, you know, let's introspect afterwards, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's think about, like, okay, like, this shit kind of crazy, like, how this shit just happening out of nowhere. You got all these other rap beefs. You got Rick Ross beefing with somebody. Rick Ross beef. Who was he beefing with? The Game. Rick Ross beefing with The Game. You got Metro Boomin beefing with Soulja Boy. You got all these beefs coming out. And, you know, I don't think any of it's authentic. I don't think none of these dudes are authentic at the end of the day. And, you know, it's just a shame, man. So it's authenticity in mainstream entertainment, in mainstream hip-hop. Is it dead? Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. That's my takeaway from this beef. Enjoy the song, enjoy the moment. But don't forget, man, reality is stranger than fiction. So don't be thinking I'm the crazy motherfucker when shit be coming out 15, 20 years later. Like, oh, yeah, like they really did do this. Or, oh, yeah, like the government really did know about this thing going on that everybody thought was going on. They made you seem like you was crazy. You know, i.e. COVID. You know what I'm talking about? 2020. Now they admitting that everybody who was boycotting, everybody who was tripping about was right. Everybody, they had the right opinion on it. And, you know, so let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. That's my takeaway. I appreciate y'all if you tuned in. One love. Peace.